Well, now
he killed himself or.
Well, how pervasive do you believe in your professional estimation, after having been victimized by these facts? Because all of us who know these facts feel victimized in some way. How deep does the rot go in your estimation?
How deep?
How deep in our political structure does this activity go? Because it's become very clear to my partners and my research partners that this is in fact not a isolated situation, but rather status quo in some instances, or in most instances.
Well, I think it probably goes a lot deeper and broader and higher up, if you want to use a phrase, than I ever dreamed, or most citizens that ever dream or want to believe, or find it even possible to believe. At the same time, I guess I'm not just sure that it's getting less. I thought maybe when I wrote a bunch about it, and you know the reason I even wrote that, don't you? Wrote
right.
The book. It was because my best friend, my kind of
Bill Colby, right?
And whatever, he told me to write it and told me he'd defend it, and then he went on. He let him be recorded on for a national TV program on the Discovery program, and let himself be recorded because Discovery and the BBC or whatever it was came over and spent, 5, 6, 7 months filming and documenting and proving everything.
Yes, Carlton International did a special.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, and called Conspiracy of Silence.
That's right.
They insisted on him being physically there in person recording and saying, yes, he believed what John DeCamp was saying and so on and so forth. And this was, the former head of the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, who had been my boss over in Vietnam during the war when I was a young combat infantry captain over there. Anyway, and wasn't a terribly long time after that he had the mysterious death. And do I believe his death was part of this whole thing? Yes. Do I have any proof? No. So once again,
well, Kay Griggs was someone who was also counseled by Bill Colby, and she was told to get as big a profile as possible to protect herself. And she did that. She went public with what she knew because she said she was told the farther in the shadow she stays with her story, the more likely it will be that something terrible will happen to her.
Yes, I think that was kind of the same message to me.
Well, Bill actually, she told me she credits Bill Colby for keeping her alive. She said.
Yeah.
Well, we look at this kind of stuff, and the facts are there are only a few ways you can buy up the loyalty of someone. One of them is with money. One of them possibly is with crime, and the other one is with sex. And when you've got two of those things, crime and sex, because of course children are off limits, and of course the sexual picadillos are hot news. You've got control of a government, and what I'm trying to say now is there are powerful interests across our country that would not hesitate to use this kind of control to their advantage. Are you aware of any groups that could begin to be looked at as responsible for this control?
Oh, just sitting here. I just got back from the doctor's office where I had surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I'm kind of having a fog, but I mentioned some of them in the book, specifically the NAMBLA thing, which I'd never even heard of, North American Man-Boy Love Association. Mm-hmm. When I first wrote about it back then, it was pretty well an unknown thing, and now, of course, it's pretty well known and just what it is. But there's these peripheral organizations like that operate on the fringes and are visible, but there's a lot of horrible evil that is well concealed and involves some people that you'd never dream or suspect, particularly some politicians on occasion that have gotten themselves compromised. And there's nothing more dangerous for a system like ours than compromising and controlling via blackmail this or that politician who's literally holding the life strings of your society, you know.
That's right.
Just, I guess I am satisfied here after the original investigation book was written, and then I've redone updates about 4 times since then.
Well, what is the latest update that you've provided us with? What's some of the information you've updated?
Oh, let's see. The latest one was like February of this year, I think, and I updated on what some of the people have done, and of course I got deeply involved in that crazy Oklahoma bombing and then the Columbine thing where I was the lawyer for some of the kids and just a bunch of these other cases and just a bunch of things there I brought up to date and some of the personalities and so on. And
well, you know, it's our take that the school shootings across the country, John, are an attempt for the controllers to have a reason to confiscate our guns, and if not confiscate them, at least chronologize and codify all of the ownership in the country so that they know who's holding the guns and who isn't. And it seems like this latest shooting might fit into that profile as well, the one in Pennsylvania.
That may be. I do not know or have the proof, and as you know, I'm super cautious if I don't have it, and I can spit it out myself and say it, and dare do anything about it, I don't say it. It sure has some of those characteristics, though. They're just being used too often, and there's this, you've read the new Patriot Law, I'm sure.
Yep.
Some of the things that have happened there in the last month or two even. And I truly believe you keep going much further and you'll have a cage built around us that anybody who wants in a position of power in this country, any president can just snap his fingers and they can pretty well corral anybody they want or separate them or do whatever they want.
Well, that seems to have been...
Under law.
Well, yeah, under the color of law because it's not constitutional. You know, but who cares about what constitutional? In this government, they don't seem to give two shakes about it. But